wear the crown. I'm off at these fucking clowns who were up top, they deserve an ounce. It's only worth it if you work for it. It's only worth it if you work for it. I won't stop till they hear me now. I won't stop till I wear the crown.
What's up, guys? Master Styles here, welcoming you back to Inside Gaming, your go-to source for all things Eternal Evolution. So today, we're going to be talking about the SB heroes. I made a poll on the community tab. It was between Awaken 7 Conor video or the SB hero breakdown. Someone in the comments a while back asked me, let's actually go over to them here, which SB hero is worth bringing to, SB3, SB5, and maybe if you have the resources. Most people probably don't, but some do. SB7. But we'll talk about each one. Out of the 5, the only one I don't have higher than 3 is Panda, because obviously he's the newest one and he's not yet added to the shop. So I'll talk about my strategy in terms of how I level my SB heroes. So let's get it going. It's not really a tier list, it's just going through each one and say if they're worth bringing to at least 3, right? And if they're better, we'll go further than that. So first up, we have Panda, right? For Panda, Jason, actually, he brought Panda to Super Breakthrough 3. What he's told me is that Panda works better on melee teams, which would make sense because once he casts his ultimate or his move, he gives the team the pulse. So if you're running range heroes, chances are they're going to be on their side of the battlefield. So the pulse is just going to go to waste. You want heroes that are in the enemy's face, and then the pulse would work. So again, as of right now, I don't have him here, so I can't really say much on him. I'll eventually get him there, but for right now, I would say just get him to SB3, especially if you're running tanks. But the thing is, well, for me now, most people are probably not even going to get to that just quite yet. If you have Awakened 7, Conor, I've been calling him Conor this whole time, right? Let's actually go back to that real quick. Where is he? They actually changed it. Oh, there we go. We'll take the socks. Appreciate it, right? It's Conor. I've been calling him Conor this whole time. They got rid of one of the ends at some point, right? So what I wanted to say was that with him at the start of the battle, he gives the whole team an ultimate, which changes the whole way I gear everyone too. But with him and Panda, it's just that Panda's gonna cast his ultimate in the beginning, and then the SB hero Panda will come out and cast his ultimate again, which is probably going to take out the whole team anyways. But that is that there for Panda. Not much you could say. Obviously, you should have him at SB1 unless you're fairly new to the game. Then hyperdimensional link event gave you 1 copy of him, so he should at least be a stat stick, so that's an additional support there, right? Next up, we have who else we have going on here. Let's go back to our list for Super Breakthrough. Next up, we'll have Nord at Super Breakthrough 4, right? Being that, with him and his ability here is that he comes in, he appears, he casts his move. Let's call it ultimate, right? And the thing is, right, his damage is not great. So that's kind of why I didn't bring him to 5, right? He wasn't showing me nothing at Super Breakthrough 3 for me to bring him to 5. So with him, I would say go to 4 because, energy needs that additional attack. That's going to help a lot, right? 15% increase to all energy heroes. And of course, they are squishy at times when Skino goes down. If you're not a Ravenna, right, they become squishy. So that additional 15% increase would definitely help out. But if you don't have the proper resources, you could stop at 3. Again, he comes out, he does his baby damage compared to the other ones. And for me, In terms of priority, we'll talk more about that later on in the video, but right now, Nord, if you have the resources, you can bring him to 4. If not, you could just sit at SB3. Very simple, very easy. Now for the other ones, right? And what I'm noticing too is that they are actually better in PVE than they are in PvP. For the other 3, right? Before we get to them, I want to go over here. Little quick intermission to the wonderful tour, right? So for the wonderful tour, I think the reason why they capped us off with the diamond purchasing is because let's just do one of these because I have one and see how we do. Ooh, that's not where. Ooh, wow. I couldn't get the fox on that there, right? That one there. Man, the fox was in the wrong row, right? But what I'm saying is that I feel like they capped us off because if they didn't, imagine the foxes are all right where you see that 10 times for that chaos crystal shard. That would be times 10. That would be 90. That would be a free chaos crystal nucleus right there. And I can see why they capped us off at 8. Does it make sense? No. What they could have did was 8 day 1, and then after that, it'll be you can pick up 3 for, I want to say, 10,000 diamonds, because the return, right, that you're gonna gain. Let's do it one more time and see. It's absolutely insane. So we got nothing there, and we got another one and no fox. Okay, but just look at the return, right? That'd have been for 10,000 diamonds. And I know you're gonna ask the question. So when it comes to over here, the first thing you want to pick up is this. No questions. Don't even think about it too much. Pick that up, right? Reason being is because of the bonus that you gain. And if you don't get that, you're going to be hurting in Hell Arena, right? The HP increase. Let's actually go look at it real quick. Yes, we're doing an intermission. You'll be fine. You'll survive, right? Let's see. I have it here. So it says all ally heroes gain 15% increase to their max HP, and in Hell Arena, this is a big part, this effect is tripled. So 45% increase to your max HP in Hell Arena. You're gonna be down in every fight. So if you don't get this trophy here, it's gonna be tougher than it already is in Hell Arena. So make sure you pick that up. Don't know how you're gonna do it, but get it done. Let's just do the last one here and see how it goes. Need 40. Okay, we'll take that. Where is the fox? No fox. Okay. All right. Sometimes you're lucky, sometimes you're not. But that is out there, 145. I'm pushing for this. I am. Worst come to worst, we can always take the loose skin, right? But again, I can understand why they wouldn't make this for diamonds, because that would be nuts. You seen what I got just now, right? Imagine if I could do 8 of that every day. Resource bag would be insane. But that is that there. Now let's go back to the SB heroes, right? So up next we have Barag, right? We'll put them in action and see. Let's go do some fights. I'm just gonna sit here and read off. I'll take that one there, right? Let's go in here and we'll use the tanks. What is that? Vanguards? Okay, still using Vanguards. Cool. So he's using Vanguards. That's even more beautiful. So for this one, of course, I'm going to use Barag. The reason why I'm using Barag is because I want to get to the backline. Barag for PvP makes sense. You want to get him to at least Super Breakthrough 3. And of course, if you're running Vans, you would want to get him to Super Breakthrough 4, like I said, for the additional increase to HP and increase for attack. Vanguards love that. So definitely want to do that there. So let's see how this fight goes. The thing about this fight is that now that I have Conor at Awakened 7, well, actually Awakened 3 would be just as doable. I can actually now switch the gears that I run. So Maz, I switched him over to healing, which is great that I already had this, right? And Panda, I switched him over to opportunistic. And so I did that for Canis too, because now I don't have to run resonance to try to get them to actually cast their ultimates. And actually, one other thing I need to keep in track of is Canis's accuracy. That's another thing to remember. And Panda's accuracy. Okay, Panda's good. That's more than enough. All right, let's just see how this fight goes. And again, the key here is that Barag's going to pull one of these heroes from the back line, the furthest. So not really worried about Heindel here. He does have reduced energy, I could tell, because we didn't cast our ultimate in the beginning. But the thing about Conor is that whoever you bring with you. So the way I started looking at this is that I can actually bring, with the tank team now, I can actually bring an additional hero, right? So even if I'm not running Canis, because Canis is normally squishy, you know that. I know your Canis is squishy. But with Conor being at Awaken 7, I can actually bring an additional hero, whoever I want to now with the tank team. It gives me that luxury. But it's tough to see it there because, again, these tanks are just going to run through whatever is in front of them. But the key is Barag would work well with them, because if they can't get through, Cariolis, I could see him coming back in the fray, because Conor gets thrown in the back line now because of that. And, Barag will help out to pull out whoever's in the back, the Skino hiding back there, whether it facing energy or whoever is back there. That's his main purpose. And if you're crazy enough to bring him to Super Breakthrough 5, I wouldn't be mad at it, because again, now he's pulling two people from the back. The Miranda and the Skino will be in the fray. And the thing is, once you get in the middle, you can't go back to the back, and you'll pretty much take them out, because normally support back there, and chances are you can't reach them, right? That is that there for Barag, right? More for the PvP side, right? I could see it. Nord, PVE, Panda could potentially be both, depending on the damage from the pulse. And I think the pulse do knockdowns too. I'm not quite sure. Let's actually check in a second. It knocks them down, which is great. So now everybody will be doing knockdowns as long as they're up close, right? So it's not bad, right? And of course, if you're seeing this while there's another Super Breakthrough hero, once there's another 4, we'll come back and review those new ones. So I guess it'll still be the superhero breakdown series. It's gonna take some time for the next episode, but we'll get there. All right. So next we have Dominic. So with Dominic, you want to get him to Super Breakthrough 3. There's no question about this one, right? And the thing about him is, he works well where? Twilight Lands, great there, right? It's awesome, beautiful. Love that about him, right? Because of his initial casting. His initial casting does so much damage. I have to take Emma out here. I don't think it will be possible without her. So let's take her out and see if we'll just put, not like it's gonna matter, right? We'll take out Emma and see if Dom can actually beat it. I'm probably gonna have to switch. Chances are I'm gonna have to switch. I could see it. Because, well, actually, we'll do the whole thing, sure, if we can, right? Let's see. Yeah, see? Comes up short. Interesting enough, it comes up short with Guan Yu, but if you switch, chances are it may be different. Let's put Rose in there and see if it can do it. It's weird. It's so weird. It's almost. Rose almost did it. But again, you see that initial casting though, right? It literally does so much damage. But my thought process was, I brought him to Super Breakthrough 3 and I was like, wow, if the casting is that great, that means that bringing him to, let's go back to him here actually in a second. Where is he? Dom. That bringing him to Super Breakthrough 5 would make him even better, because that's when his mark becomes AoE. No, his mark does not do as much damage as the casting. It's so interesting to me. But again, one other thing I also want to talk about is gearing, right? Gearing for your SP heroes. It's similar, but again, is the damage the same? Right? Let's see here. This is the one with attack. I just did all attack, right? And that's what I was saying, where in instance you have your regular gears. This is if you have the resources. I don't really recommend you do this because again, it's just maybe another additional 100 million terms of damage. But for me, I like doing it because again, it's cool to slap some gears on a hero that I don't use now. I really don't, right? I don't. But the 3 slots, this is kind of how I want you to think about it. There is PvP, PVE, and of course SP. That's how I'm thinking about the 3 slots. But for me, I just keep this on him. Again, you're probably saying, why don't you put more crit rate on him? But the way how the SP heroes work, they're like a different entity within themselves, right? They don't gain some of the benefits that you would gain if it was the hero, right? Because again, with the casting, Dom doesn't do that much damage. The regular Dom, he don't do that much damage. He don't. But let's actually go to here. Actually, we can. Nah, I don't want to show that. I was gonna go somewhere, but I'm not gonna show that. For Dom, you definitely want to get him to Super Breakthrough 3. 5, it really didn't make much of a difference. 7 could potentially be the way to go because again, he does gain an additional casting, right? Which is great. So you gotta love that. And it does a lot of damage. And I can see that's what helped me out in Twilight Land, especially 19-2, where I tend to get stuck. Helped me out there. And next up, we have Emma. Emma is a completely different type of monster. Like, let's just do the run through because I need to do these anyways. And we don't need you. We're going to go back to Guan Yu for you know who, right? We'll go back to Guan Yu. Guan Yu's going to one-tap this with Emma. Well, Emma's going to one-tap this. Emma's just absolutely insane. Like, look at this. It's over. Done. That's done. And that's at Super Breakthrough 3? 3's like that? Yeah. 3 can do that. 3 can also do this one too. Look at Bada. Bada is going to be clearing this with the proper support. So she takes him out. Done. You don't even get to see him. He don't even appear on the screen. And of course, it'll take SB5 to actually clear this. And actually, I know exactly who I want to use. Of course, our boy Luke. I think Luke's gonna be our boy going forward, right? Yeah, let's use Luke. But at Super Breakthrough 5, you can clear this in 1 second with Emma. Yeah, literally. Yeah, that's Super Breakthrough 5. At 3, you come up a little bit short. So with Emma, what do we have over here for endless battles? Let's see. We got tanks, and we also have this. It's gonna crash. I'm just not doing that. It's going to crash, I can tell. Let's collect our resources here. Still can't catch our boy. He's so far ahead. Wow, man, so tough to catch up to that boy. He's a whale and a kraken, maybe even the ultra kraken at this point. But with Emma, she does an immense amount of damage in PvE, but in PvP she doesn't really do that much damage, strangely enough. So let's actually go into this one here, and we can kind of see. I realize Nordthion has no gears because I stripped them. Sure, we'll just take whatever the game recommends. Yeah, okay, cool. Wait, why don't I give that to Canis? Canis needs that, right? I think so. Yeah, sure. And that, and then we can switch over to this. We're not really worried about it, but let's just look at Emma's damage here and see where is actually Put everybody on auto. Emma's not in there. I have Nord in there. Why do I have Nord? Don't know why I have Nord in there, but here we go. Wait, I wonder if you would get the, well, no. I'm curious. If you put the support for Panda and then run some, well, who would you run? Would it affect your score? Huh, interestingly enough. If you took out Panda and you run the support, would it count as you running Panda? Huh. It's an interesting thought there. But actually, let's get you out and put you in. I just want you to look at Emma's damage, and this is why I say I would bring, well, it's early here, right? There are not a lot of targets, but wait for the second casting. Then you can see what she's talking about here. The second casting. Yeah, look at that. So now you gain, what? Almost 11 billion damage from your support. That's like literally having an additional hero. Because we're going to keep our eye on Orton and see if Orton passes her. Think about that. Obviously, Orton will end up passing her, but if you can get her to Super Breakthrough 7, he's not. Because he's at, what, 5? Look at how long it takes. So again, that aids in your score. Because again, you're going to get the bonus points for having the heroes. But having her there at, what, Super Breakthrough 5, she does big damage, right? Eventually they're going to pass her because they're still in the battle. But if she could have cast it one more time, where there's a lot more heroes, this is why I'm arguing to push Emma to 7, and I'm going to do it. But for her, you definitely want to get her to Super Breakthrough 5. For PvE purposes, of course. For PvP, Super Breakthrough damage is not that great. Neither one of them, even Emma. Dom's mark is good, but the after effect damage, or the explosion I should say, doesn't do that much damage. And here, we'll just run through this one here. And of course, I don't really expect Orton to do much, right? He just moved everybody over there. So sad. Why would you do that? Well, look at Conor putting up almost a 500 billion damage. 500 billion, my God. That is crazy. And that was not even as good as my best score. Wow. Okay. But again, let's just look at Emma here. She put up 11 billion damage, right? Almost half as much as Orton, and Orton was in the fight the whole time. Granted, his gears is not the greatest, but even then, he still wasn't going to do that well, right? Gannis had good gears, and Gannis put up 30 billion, and she did, what, a third of Candice's damage, and Candice was in the fight the whole time, even though Candice is support, so can't really argue that. But again, let's look at the comparison. 80, 100, of course. But Dom, as you can see, because of the mark, right? He marks the target with the lowest HP. That's great there in Twilight Lands. But for damage in PvE, definitely, most definitely, Emma is the go-to. You want to get Emma to Super Breakthrough 5. That's the recommendation there. Of course, the additional attack for your hunters will work out very well, right? And I kind of want to see something here. A mysterious gift. I completely forget about that stuff. But to go back to summarize here, talk about where you should aim for each one. So Panda right now, Super Breakthrough 3. If you want to bring him to Super Breakthrough 4 for the additional HP, don't really care for the attack. Actually, I want to see something. Go back to here and go to, where's Panda? Right here. I want to see something real quick. You won't even need to activate this one because it's only for tanks, right? So you can potentially skip that one there. That's interesting. That's actually a great tip. You could skip this one if you're low on your stimulant, right? And just go with the HP because you need the HP to go to 5, right? Yeah, you don't really need to burn through all of that. So save your stimulant on the attack because they don't really use it. And then just focus on the HP. Just for Panda here. Panda purposes, right? Yeah. It's actually a great tip. I think so. Hopefully you do too. And for Nord, I would go with Super Breakthrough 3. And if you need your energy team to gain the additional attack, and HP, you go to 4. Not really recommending 4, but 3 is just as good. I just use them in there for, situations. Just situations. Barag, I would recommend Super Breakthrough 4. 5 would be just as good because now he can pull 2 people from the back line. But 4 is a good place to stop, actually, because you have other ones to focus on, because the other 2 you're going to need to bring them to a higher point. But if you're running your vans, you can go to 5. 2 pulls in for your, Skino hiding back there, or Miranda hiding back there, or even the SB hero can pull them to the front. 1 is just as good because chances are you won't get the right one. So Super Breakthrough 4 for him. For Dom, Super Breakthrough 3. 5 is like, it's not really worth it. You would think so because of the AoE explosion, but it's not that great. The explosion is not that great. I think they need to rework that because the casting is doing 1 billion and the explosion is only doing 200 million, which is sad. And then the other side of that too is that if he targets someone in the back, chances are your heroes are not going to get to that target, so it's just going to be the additional mark. The explosion does more damage based off of crit damage into the mark, and if there's nobody attacking into the mark, then the explosion is not going to be that great. So again, Super Breakthrough 3. If you want to go for 5, push for it, right? Assassins would like the additional attack, and of course the HP is not going to hurt. But for Emma, I'm going for 7, right? Because again, you see that damage. Like, think about endless battles, right? Where you need to do damage. She can be counted as a 6 hero, right? Because that 11 there would probably go up to 20. I could see her beating out Orton in that situation there. So definitely, I would say 5. But for me, I'm going for 7 just to see how she is. And I'll tell you if it's worth going there in the next episode of this, which is probably going to take some time before we revisit that. But for right now, that's the Super Breakthrough hero breakdown there. Hopefully it helped. If you made it this far, I'll give you my strategy on how I've been going about it, right? So for me, in here, I can do this. Most people probably can't, depending on where you are. If you're a spender, then you can definitely do it because you'll be able to bring your Awakened hero to Awakened 7 within the first week, or whatever the case may be, right? I don't even buy the Awakened crystals in here anymore. I can't tell you the last time I bought an Awakened crystal in here. Can't remember. But what I've been doing is just basically saving up my tokens here and pick up the Super Breakthrough heroes as they come in. And then within that time, I have enough time to accumulate another 1,800 coins to pick up whatever I need. Wish I would have got Panda on the wheel spin there, but I didn't. So now I need to get 2 of him to get him to Super Breakthrough 3. But chances are I'm going to have to put him on hold for right now. So I have to wait for the reset, and then I'll pick up the additional 3 that I need to bring her to Super Breakthrough 7. But that's what I've been doing. I bring the Awakenable heroes to at least Awaken 7, and then that way I don't need to purchase them here. For this, I need to come back and do this, right? I need to make a breakdown video for the Awakenable heroes, and I have to go back and check to see where I left off. I know I didn't talk about Fiona, right? But I'll wait till there's like 2 more added, right? So maybe I want to say February, around there, or I'll go back and check. It might be at some point in January. But again, that's my strategy. It may not work for you, but that's kind of one way you can do it. Just buy 1 every time and then focus on your Awakenable heroes. That's the only way you can do it, really, to be honest. There's no other way to do it, pretty much. If you made it this far in the video, the word of the day is actually Emma. Super Breakthrough Emma, ripping through PVE. Love her in Twilight Lands. Love her in any PVE form content because she does great damage, especially at Super Breakthrough 5, which is beautiful. So again, if you're new around here, make sure you hit the subscribe button. We're on our way to 2,000 subscribers. It's just like the beginning all over again. It looks far, but it's doable. And I noticed that a lot of you guys are watching my content, you're not subscribed, and you're coming back. So you might as well hit the subscribe button and turn on the post notifications because you get updates, guides, tier list walkthroughs, and of course the spotlight series. You need to do a spotlight video. Let me know down in the comments who you want me to do next. And then of course the fun to play series for those that are new to the game, especially right now. Most people are new to the game because of the Christmas event. There's people that are returning, coming back to some great rewards, and of course the Christmas event. For those that are rocking with me, let me know how you feel about the breakdown video. Maybe I needed to go a little bit more into something. You'll tell me in the comments. Without further ado, I want to thank you for watching. Till the next video, peace.